pagdating dun sa company namin at pagdating dun sa solution na ino-offer namin sa clinical trial industry. And I am in this meeting also are the Care Trials Associates that are helping us with the um, outreach pagdating dun sa mga iba't ibang clinical trial sites. So I would also like for them to introduce themselves. And then after their introduction, we will be showing a video that we have prepared that would give you some information about our solution, about the value of clinical trials, and ultimately kung paano po tayo makakasali no, or paano tayo makaka-join sa network ng care trials. And in the video also will be a QR code that you can scan all throughout the presentation or the video while the video is playing so that you will be led to download the Care Wallet app and you can join the Care Trials Network. So una po muna siguro introduction and then we will play the video. So let's start with Christine Yel, then followed by Gino and then Army.
Hello po, magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Christine Yel, isa po ako sa mga Care Trials Associates po na kasama ni Ma'am Melissa. Isa po akong registered medical technologist dito sa Pilipinas at meron po akong experience bilang isang study coordinator sa mga clinical trials po na nag-handle ng um, mga clinical studies tungkol po sa ophthalmology o sa mga cases po sa mata. Naging clinical quality control specialist din po ako sa ilang sites po sa United States po.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. I'm Gino Rafael Evangelista. Gaya po ni Ma'am Neil, ako ay isang registered medical technologist here dito sa Pilipinas din. And bago ako sumali dito sa Care Trials, ay nagtrabaho ako sa Manila Doctors Hospital and sa Zwillig Pharma bilang medical technologist. And nag-participate din kami sa mga clinical trial studies regarding COVID-19 vaccine during the pandemic. Thank you.
Ayan, hello po sa lahat. Ako nga po pala si Army Plando. Nurse po ako by profession. Before joining po Care Trials, naging nurse ako sa Department of Health from 2015 until 2018. And then meron din akong background po as study coordinator dito sa Cebu. And we are handling po different vaccine studies and also interventional studies po dito rin po sa Cebu. Ayun po.
Okay, maraming salamat Christiniel, Gino, and Army. So, like I said, para po ma-utilize natin ng maayos yung oras, we actually prepared a video, which we also showed during the General Assembly of the patient leaders from PAPO. And for the benefit of the rest who were not in that event and sa mga manonood sa atin siguro sa Facebook, we will be showing the same video. So Gino, please do the honors. And after that, probably later kung meron po tayong mga katanungan, pwede po naming sagutin para sa inyo. Maraming salamat.
Wala po atang audio.
Wala pong audio.
Wala, hindi niyo po marinig. Sorry. Ulitin ko na lang po.
This Gino from the beginning na lang siguro. Yung.
Okay.
Imagine a future where turning 100 is just the beginning. In the next 2 decades, 4 billion of us will face the reality of chronic illnesses. But what if you could be part of the solution? Welcome to Care Trials, your gateway to the latest in medical research, making clinical trials accessible to all. Join hands with scientists and research organizations. Together, we can accelerate research of cures for cancer, diabetes, and other chronic diseases. Your participation could help to find faster, life-extending breakthroughs. Why now? Because each tick of the clock is a precious moment to save lives, including yours and your loved ones. At Care Trials, we connect a worldwide community with research teams, making it quicker to advance medicine. Your experiences and insights fuel this research. Care Trials isn't just another app. It's a revolution made simple. A single swipe can reveal discoveries that transform lives for generations. Got questions? Meet Kara, your dedicated patient advocate in the quest for answers. Always just a message away. Don't wait for change. Join Care Trials now and stand with a global community daring to redefine medicine. Together, we discover. Together, we craft a healthier tomorrow. Be bold. Leave your legacy. Join us and be the change the world awaits.
Kumusta? Ako nga pala si Army Plano, isa sa mga Care Trials Associate dito sa Pilipinas. Ngayon, pag-uusapan natin kung ano nga ba ang clinical trial at kung ano ang ambag nito sa lipunan. Ang 2020 ay isang mahirap na taon para sa lahat dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic na tumangalo, na humantong sa pang-ekonomiyang pagkagambala, malawakang pagkansila at pagpapaliban ng mga kaganapan, pandaigdigang pag-lockdown at ang pinakamalaking pag-urong sa ekonomiya. Alam mo ba na malaki ang papel na ginagampanan ng clinical trial sa pagdiskubre ng gamot para sa COVID-19 pandemic? Dahil sa clinical trial, malaya na ulit tayong nakakalabas at nakakadalo ng anumang mga okasyon kasama nito ang pag-attend ng concert ni Taylor Swift sa ibang bansa. Ano nga ba ang clinical trial? Ang clinical trial o clinical na pagsuri, ito ay isang uri na pag-aaral o pananaliksik ng bagong pagsusuri or new procedures, bagong paggagamot or new interventions. Hindi ito naglilimita sa gamot lamang. Pwede din ito isang pamamaraan sa pag-opera, surgical procedures, behavioral treatments, and preventive care. Sa isang clinical trial, sinusuri din ang mga epekto nito sa mga resulta sa kalusugan ng tao. Maingat na idinisenyo, sinusuri at makumpleto at kailangan na maaprubahan bago sila. Lahat, bata man o matanda, ay pwede makilahok sa isang trial. Importante ba ang clinical trial? Oo, ang clinical trial ay maraming potensyal na benepisyo kabilang na ang una, pagkilala sa mga epektibong paggagamot para sa mga susunod na henerasyon. Pangalawa, pagtuklas para sa bago at makabagong pag-iwas at paggamot sa mga bihira at komplikadong sakit gaya ng cancer. Pangatlo, pagbaba sa halaga ng gamot or therapy. Ano ang pinakamahalagang layunin sa pagsasagawa ng clinical trial? Ito ay para malaman kung ang makikita ay una, mas epektibo. Pangalawa, may kaunting nakakapinsalang epekto kaysa sa unang gamot na nasa merkado or market. Ito din ay ang pagsubok ng mga paraan upang makatukoy ng maagang sakit bago pa ang sintomas nito or yung tinatawag natin na early detection. Ano ba ang benepisyo sa pagsali sa isang clinical trial? Ang benepisyo ay nag-iiba ayon sa tao. Una, pwede itong nakakakuha ng mas maagang access sa bagong gamot. Pangalawa, sa maraming kaso, ang clinical trials ay hindi isang huling paraan. Maaari sila ang unang pagpipilian para sa mga pasyente na walang ibang opsyon sa paggamot. Pangatlo, ito ay libre or free. Ano ba ang panganib ng clinical trial? Iba-iba ang panganib or risk sa bawat clinical trial. Ito ay nakadepende sa kung ano ang pag-aaral or procedures na gagawin. Kadalasan, ang clinical trial ay maaari o nagbibigay ng abala kagaya ng kailangan maglaan ng dagdag na oras at pagsisikap or time consuming. May side effects at maaaring hindi maging effective. Ligtas ba ang clinical trial? Ang clinical trial ay kinokontrol ng regulatory authorities. Ano ba ang mga regulatory authorities? So ito ang mga sumusunod. Una, ang FDA or ang Food and Drug Administration. Pangalawa ay ang Ethics Committee. Sila ang nagsusuri, nag-aaproba at nagbabantay sa isang clinical trial. Binubuo ito ng mga kwalipikadong doktor, mananaliksik at iba pang miyembro nito. Tinitiyak nila na ang mga karapatan, kaligtasan at kapakanan ng kalahok ay protektado. Tinitiyak din ito na ang panganib sa kalusugan ng partisipante ay makatwiran kumpara sa posibleng benepisyo nito o yung tinatawag natin benefits outweighs the risk. Ano ang dapat kong itanong bago ako sumali sa isang clinical trial? Ano ang layunin ng clinical trial? Para sa akin ba ang pag-aaral na ito? Ano ang procedures or paggamot ang kasama? Gaano katagal ang pag-aaral? Ilan lamang iyan sa mga halimbawang tanong na pwede mong itanong bago ka sumali sa isang clinical trial. Paano ako sasali sa isang clinical trial? Pwede kang magtanong sa inyong kakilala na doktor o isang malapit na ospital sa inyo or mag-download ka ng Care Trials application. Laging tandaan, ang pagsali sa isang clinical trial ay voluntaryo at maaari kang ito anumang oras mo gusto.
Magandang araw. Ako nga po pala si Gino Rafael Evangelista, miyembro ng Care Trials dito sa Pilipinas. Ngayon po ay pag-uusapan natin ang Care Trials at ang mga benepisyo makukuha ng mga pasyente sa pag-isali dito. Ang Care Trials ay isang proyekto ng Solve Care na naglalayo magbigyang kaalaman ng mga pasyente tungkol sa mga clinical trials na meron dito sa Pilipinas at sa iba pang parte ng mundo. Layon din ang Care Trials na maging madali at mabilis ang paghihikayat sa mga pasyente para sumali sa mga clinical trials. Ano nga ba ang meron sa Care Trials? Bakit ito naiiba sa mga ibang social media applications? Una, mas maiintindihan ng mga pasyente ang mga salitang medikal na bago sa inyong pandinig dahil meron kaming katuwang sa pagpapaliwanag sa mga pasyente ng mga salitang ito na si Kira. Si Kira ay isang generative artificial intelligence na kayang sumagot ng mga katanungan patungkol sa clinical trials. Isa sa mga kakayahan ni Kira ay ang kaya nitong magsalin-salin ng mga lingwahe katulad ng Ingles at Espanyol. Kaya din nitong magsalita ng Filipino at konting Cebuano. Pangalawa, ang Care Trials ay napakadaling gamitin dahil pwede mo rin itong ma-download sa inyong mga cellphone at maaari mong gamitin kahit saan ka man magpunta. Kapag nasagutan mo ang ilang katanungan patungkol sa iyong kondisyon, ay maaari ka nang makapagsaliksik ng mga clinical trials na malapit sa iyo na angkop sa inyong karamdaman. Pangatlo, dahil sa tulong ni Kira, ay matutulungan ng mga pasyente na magkaroon ng kaalamang sapat para makapagdesisyon ng maigi upang magabayan ka sa pagsali ng mga clinical trials na gusto mo. Huli, ay para matugunan ang problema na kinakaharap ngayon tungkol sa paghihikayat ng mga pasyenteng sumali sa mga clinical trials. Tandaan po natin na ang tagumpay ng isang clinical trials ay hindi lamang sa mga gumawa nito, kundi din tagumpay ng mga sumali dito dahil kung hindi dahil sa inyo, ay hindi magiging posible ang mga ito. Ano nga ba ang benepisyo ng Care Trials para sa mga kalahok nito? Una, binibigyan tayo ng oportunidad ng mga kalahok na maging parte ng mga makabagong advancements. Ang inyong partisipasyon ay mahalagang aspeto para makagawa ng mga bagong gamot at iba pang terapiya. Pangalawa, ay layo ng Care Trials na mapadali ang paghahanap ng mga clinical trials na naaangkop sa kondisyon ng mga kasapi nito at maging mas madali ang pag-intindi sa mga ito. Pumunta naman tayo ngayon sa kung paano mag-register at gamitin ng mga application na ito.
Interesado ka bang sumali sa mga clinical trials at maging miyembro ng Care Trials Network? Para magawa ito, i-download lamang ang Care Wallet app mula sa Google Play Store o Apple App Store. Pagkatapos itong ma-download, buksan ang app at makikita mo ang Create New Wallet. Pindutin ito at i-enter ang iyong cellphone number at maghintay para sa OTP. I-enter ang OTP na iyong matatanggap at pindutin ang Next at gumawa ng 6-digit passcode. Kumpirmahin ito at pindutin ulit ang Next. Pagkatapos ito ay makikita mo ang phone card ng Care Wallet app. Huwag kalimutan i-save o i-copy sa mga notes app ang recovery phrase dahil maaaring magamit ito kung sakaling ma-log out ang iyong account. May kita mo rin sa home card ang Join Care Trials Network Now. Pindutin lang ito at pagkatapos ilagay ang iyong bansa at piliin ang participant bilang iyong group. Kakailanganin maghintay ng hindi lalagpas sa 5 minuto para makapasok sa Care Trials Network. Pagkatapos ng 5 minuto ay makikita mo ang home card ng Care Trials Network. Dito may nakalagay na Start Here, Swipe Trials, Records Review and ID Verification, Trial Requests, and Prepare and Earn. Para makita ang mga naaayon na clinical trials para sa iyo, pindutin ang Start Here. Dito ay kailangan mo lang sagutan ang 7 katanungan. Ito ay ang bansa, edad, kasarian, etnisidad, layo na pwede mong lakbayin para sa isang clinical trial, ang iyong mga kilalang kondisyon o ang mga na-diagnose na kondisyon ng doktor. At kung meron ka man kapansanan o limitasyon. Ito ay ginagawa o sinasagutan para ma-access ang pwede mong salihan na clinical trials. Pagkatapos ito ay makikita mo ang final step card kung saan pwede mong gamitin ang referral code mula sa inyong organisasyon o mula sa mga kakilala mong gumagamit na ng Care Trials Network. I-enter lamang ito at i-click ang I agree pagkatapos basahin ang terms and conditions at privacy policy. Pagkatapos nito ay i-click lamang ang submit at makikita mo ang done card na nagsasabing you are in. Ibig sabihin nito ay kasali ka na sa Care Trials Network at maaari mo nang makita ang mga clinical trials na para sa iyo. Kung sakaling hindi mo agad nakita ang mga clinical trials, swipe trials, huwag mag-alala at makakatanggap ka ng notification sa iyong account kapag meron ng mga clinical trials na pwede sa iyo.
Okay, maraming salamat sa pakikinig. So, tinatanong ko po si Miss Ana kanina kung meron tayong pagkakataon mamaya sa huling bahagi ng ating webinar para masagot namin yung mga katanungan nyo. So, just hold on to your questions po, tapos we will address the questions at the latter part of this program para hindi rin kami makakain ng oras dun sa talagang objective ng webinar na ito. So, thank you, Miss Ana, Miss Ara, and Miss Mel. Salamat po sa pakikinig din sa lahat.
Ayan, thank you po sa Solve That Care Foundation, Ms. Melissa and her team. So, ang sa akin lang po, if you're wanting to join a clinical trial, then you can be an informed participant with the help of Solve That Care, yung Care Trials app. Okay? Okay, so syempre, diba, hot na tayo for the mental health awareness talk ng ating, of course, distinguished speaker this afternoon. And I'm happy and I have the honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker. Okay, so I'd like to introduce him properly. Okay, sige, let me just share screen. Yan. Okay. So, sige, let me introduce our guest speaker. Okay. Yan. So, our esteemed resource speaker received his BS Medical Technology from the University of Santo Tomas and his medical degree from De La Salle University. He finished his residency training in psychiatry at the National Center for Mental Health. So he is a diplomate of the Philippine Board of Psychiatry and a fellow of the Philippine Psychiatric Association. He became a supervising psychiatrist, then the head of the psychiatric emergency room, the outpatient department, and the detoxification unit. Dr. Reyes was also a regular speaker for the Department of Health, Department of Education, and the Department of Labor at that time. During the time when he was the chief of the Medical Professional Services of Community, Dr. Reyes completed his master's in management, major in hospital administration, and was appointed as the Medical Center Chief of NCMH in January 2021. After his 15-year career as a clinical supervisor, Dr. Reyes became an OFW and worked in the oil and gas industry for Petronas in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as an offshore rig doctor. In 2018, Dr. Reyes came back to the National Center for Mental Health and became a member of the Task Force for the Development of the Implementing Rules and Regulations of the Mental Health Act of 2019. So, before I give you our esteemed speaker, please allow me to show you a happy photo when Dr. Reyes had a talk on mental health awareness in our school po last January. So, pampasaya po. Yan. So, Papo family, our friends from various communities, it is our pride and pleasure to give you our distinguished resource speaker, Dr. Noel V. Reyes, the Director of the National Center for Mental Health. So let us give him a jolly virtual round of applause. Okay. So yan, let me just stop share. Yan. So Dr. Reyes and Sir Richie.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Anna, for that kind introduction. Let me just share screen. All right. Am I being heard clearly?
Yes po.
All right.
Yes po, Doc.
Yeah. Okay naman yung slides, nakikita na.
Yes po.
All right. So, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody from PAPO for inviting me to talk to you about mental health awareness. Nag-include lang ako ng a few slides on destigmatization. I think it's about time that we talk about the stigma of mental health in the Philippines. Medyo nahuhuli na tayo in combating stigma. In other countries kasi medyo na-destigmatize na ang mental health. Philippines na lang ang medyo nahuhuli. So let me talk to you about it. 4 slides lang naman ang dinagdag ko. If you will allow me. So, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing well in spite of the very hot weather outside. My task is really, I'll talk about mental wellness and mental illness, so that you will be aware on the mental health situation in the Philippines. A few slides on the work and mental health, and of course, the one that I mentioned, destigmatization. My objectives will be for you to understand and appreciate the concept of mental wellness and mental illness, learn to cope with mental health problems, and of course, destigmatizing and increasing the mental health literacy of the Philippines. Magkasama kasi. If we are literate enough to know about mental health issues, then we somehow erase some of the stigma that is attached to it. Okay. So let us proceed. Medyo short lecture lang to. I just prepared 375 slides.
Yay! Ang konti po.
Joking lang. So again, everybody has mental health, no? Yan lang ang confirm sa atin. Everybody has mental health. Okay. Now, I've heard the president kanina touch on mental health, and it's really not merely a absence of disease, no. It is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his own potential. So dapat alam natin ang potential natin. Nakaka-cope tayo with the normal stresses in life like the traffic, the heat, no? Raising a family, your children, no? Adjusting to your co-workers, no? The pressures given to us by our bosses. No, dahil yung mga normal stress in life, we can cope with it, no? And in spite of these stresses in life, we can work productively and we are able to contribute, no, a positive contribution to the community. So, kung titignan natin, medyo malawak ang definition ng mental health. It is not merely wala kang sakit, no? But it encompasses so many things, no? It talks about your resilience, no? Talks about your flexibility, no? Kung ano man ang dumating, kahit na dagok sa buhay, we can rise above it, no? Okay. So, here are some of the psychological dimensions of, dapat ba i-ano ko? I-show, no?
Slide view po, opo.
Um,
Sa ilalim.
Teka. Ayan.
Yung
Yeah.
may-
Alright.
Ayan. Thank you po.
Ah. Ay. So, ayan yan, no? When pag hinimay-himay natin, ang mental health definition, no? It realizes one's own potential, can cope with the normal stress in life, can work productively, can contribute to community. It talks about your self-image, your resiliency in terms of your productivity and creativity, and of course, your sense of purpose. Now, when we go to mental disorders, no, collectively kasi all diagnosable mental disorders or health conditions that are characterized by alteration of thinking, mood, or behavior, or combination, no? Ayan ang nag-encompass ng mental disorder. Now, kung isa-isayin naman natin, alterations in thinking, that means on how yung thought process mo, no? So, in terms of perception, no? Kaya when we talk about mental disorders, when you have a perceptual disturbances in terms of your hearing, meron kang auditory hallucination, kung may perceptual disturbances ka, your visual, no, yung mga senses mo, may nakikita ang iba na hindi naman nakikita, you have visual hallucinations, no? In terms of your thinking na kung ano-ano ang sentence mo, walang meaning, no, meron kang incoherence, it's how the flow of thought, no? So, kung meron kang alterations dyan, then probably you have some form of mental disorder. When we say mood, no, it's your outlook, your feelings, no, emotion, no. So kung ikaw ay depressed, may depressed mood ka, somehow meron kang mental disorder. Or if you are opposite of the depression, manic, no, hyperactive, talkative, no, medyo may konting wala na sa reality yung kayabangan, no? Everybody's in love with me, mga ganyan. In terms of ganyan mga mood symptoms, then probably you have a mental disorder. And of course, behavior, no? Meron tayong mga certain behavior na goes above eccentricity, though hindi na eccentric yung hindi lang eccentric kung hindi yung tinatawag nating weird na, no? And yet you keep on doing it because it provides you with certain pleasure or fulfillment. Pero it's beyond the norm, okay? So lahat yan, alterations in thinking, mood, and behavior, if it somehow affects your functionality, then it is already a mental disorder. So let's give an example, no? Kung may naririnig kang bumubulong sa'yo and hindi ka makatulog, so your sleeping function is already affected, then it's probably a mental disorder already. Yung mood mo na depressed, ayaw mo nang pumasok sa opisina o sa school, gusto mo mag-isolate sa kwarto mo, ayaw mo kumain, ayaw mo makipag-usap, napapabayaan mo na ang sarili mo, hindi ka naliligo in terms of your grooming, then your functionality in that aspect becomes impaired. Then probably the symptoms together with this impaired functionality has now become a mental disorder. Okay? So yan. Malinaw ang mental disorder and mental health. Okay? So if you have a mental health problem, no, it affects your thinking, feeling, and social relationship, but to the extent that it significantly hampers functioning like that of a mental disorder. Now, it is somehow temporarily because it's a reaction to a life stressor. No, it is less severe and a shorter duration than mental disorder. Mental disorder, I forgot to mention, uh, is characterized by it tends to run a chronic course, meaning matagal, no? Matagal na gamutan, matagal na pag-uusap, matagal na ina-address natin yung mga issue, no? So pag sa mental health problem, it is less severe and of shorter duration than mental disorder. Okay? So kanina pinag-usapan natin yung functionality, no? Let us himayin ulit natin. Ano ba yung mga domains of functionality? Meron kang intrapersonal, meaning your function on yourself, no? Yung grooming, how you sleep, your appetite, no? Nakakain ka, you be able to take care of yourself. That's your intrapersonal functioning. Interpersonal is you be able to maintain your social life, no? Able to maintain friends, no? Yung mga relatives mo, maganda ang positive relationship mo na maintain mo. And of course, kung school age ka, kasama sa function mo yung going to school. O kung tumanda ka na, gumraduate ka na, kasama na sa function mo yung work, no? In the interpersonal, kasama of course ang marital life dyan, no? Okay. So these are the domains of functionality. Kaya ako na-include itong slide na to, it's because when you develop a psychiatric symptom, isa-isahin mo. Itong symptom ba na ito nakaka-apekto sa intrapersonal functioning ko? Or does it affect my interpersonal functioning? O pati yung work ko na apekto? And then, if that is so, then probably you already have a mental disorder. Okay? Now, mental wellness. Let's talk about the other side of the, hindi naman mental disorder, but mental wellness naman. Pag sinabi kasi natin mental wellness, in terms of the spectrum, no, you are excelling, thriving, no, pababayan, no, yung mental wellness, mental illness spectrum. Excelling pataas, you're well, and in crisis, you are in the illness spectrum. Okay? So marami yan, no? In crisis, struggling, unsettled, thriving, and yung isa is excelling, no? So makikita mo yung characteristic na excelling, no? Cheerful, joyful, no? Energetic, high job performance, no? And actively seeking connection. As you go down the spectrum sa paputang illness, if you are in crisis, you're already feeling very anxious, very low mood, naapektuhan na yung work or school mo, nag-absent ka, you feel almost every time of the day, no? Any time of the day, you're exhausted, no? Physical pain, isolation, very poor sleep, no? Nakaka-apekto sa timbang mo, weight loss, meron kang tinatawag na psychotic break, and of course, ito kasi parang inherent na sa ating mga Pilipino in terms of our coping styles, no? Lalo-lalo na sa mga kalalakihan, no? Pag na-busted, we'll go into alcohol. Iinom na lang natin yung problema mo, no? So, one of the symptoms, no, if you're in crisis, is that you abuse alcohol already or other drugs, no? Prohibited drugs. Okay. So, mental disorder cause yung mga etiologic factors niyan, multifactorial. Let me dwell on this, no? If my purpose for this webinar is to share some literacy or awareness in terms of mental disorder, kailangan malaman din ninyo ano ba ang causes, no? Isa lang ba yan? Mana-mana lang ba yan? O yung tinatawag nating biological, inherited traits? Ang nanay niyan, lukaret o na confine, siguro paglaki niya siya dahil anak siya magkakaroon din siya ng ganyang sakit, no? Yung ba ang cause? Yun lang ba ang cause? Pwede din bang environmental exposures before birth? That means during the time na pinagbubuntis ka, nag-abuso ang mother mo ng pinagbabawal na gamot o na-expose sa mga chemicals sa environment na nagdudulot sa iyo ng pagkaiba ng kilos, pagkaiba ng pag-iisip at pag-iba ng mood, no? Or dahil ba nung bata ka nagkaroon ka ng epilepsy, meningitis, no? Na iba ang brain chemistry mo. Yan ba ang cause ng mental illness? O pwede rin bang psychological, no? Nagkaroon ka ng experience na very traumatic, no? Severe psychological trauma o nung maliit maliit pa ang mga bata nawalan na ng early loss, no, o early death in the family, no? Sa mga bata kasi pag ang parents one or two of both of the parents, no, suddenly die o nawala, no, nag-separate, they perceive it as a loss, no, loss. An important early loss or na nagkaroon siya ng poor ability to relate to others, no? So yan ba pwedeng dahilan din ng mental illness, psychological? O pwede rin bang social, no? Nowadays, uh, we point to the social causes more frequently, no? Kasi nga it is so predominant, no? Like for example, dysfunctional family, no? Feelings of inadequacy or low self-esteem, changing jobs o walang trabaho. No? Pag walang trabaho kasi, poverty, they are very prone to mental illness, no? Kasi wala silang, uh, they were not able to, for example, provide for themselves good education, hindi lumawak ang kaisipan nila, no? Or dahil sa poverty, they are not the necessary medical assistance is not available to them, no? So, yan, societal expectations, substance abuse, marami pa po ito, no? In terms of, like for example, the susceptibility of those people in armed conflict, no? They're always on guard. They're always, their life is not that stable, no? Parati silang takbo, tago, no? So these are some of the factors that can cause a mental disorder, no? Not to mention in terms of the social and our society, no? The plight of our uh, LGBTQ, no? Marami pong factors talaga na nagkakaroon ng cause ng nagko-cause ng mental disorder. And not to mention of course substance abuse, no? Alam sa Philippines po, substance abuse is two-pronged. No? It's both criminal issue and a health issue, no? So sometimes po if you are nahuli kayo na you're dependent on a drug, for example, a methamphetamine or shabu, at nakulong kayo because that's against the law, wala naman pong rehabilitative process doon sa kulungan. And so nagiging paulit-ulit po once na you get out of jail, wala naman pong intervention na ginawa sa inyo in terms of your addictive process, no? So dapat ang address natin diyan two-prong. Okay? All right. So wag po tayong mabahala, meron naman tayong mga protective factors, no, against mental wellness. Ito po yung itong factors na to, protective factors, ito yung hinahanap natin, no? Ito rin po nagsasabi sa atin na very prone ng individual kung hindi natin makita sa kanya itong mga protective factors, no? Kung absence of these factors, potentially damaging, no, to the mental wellness of an individual, no? Individual factors sa Tagalog yata, naturaleza, no? Family factors, kung close family ties, they're able to protect and take care of themselves, support each other, then it's a protective factor, no? School context, kung di naman siya maganda naman ang school environment, walang bullying, no? Life events and situation, of course, kung very ideal, no, yung nangyayari sa kanya, it's a protective factor in terms of the events that is transpiring or happening with his life, no? And of course, community and cultural factors, no? Kung maganda ang community, yung community setting, everybody supports everybody, no? And the cultural factor, kung medyo maganda ang ang pinapatupad nating cultural beliefs and attitudes. Okay. Right. So yan. Yan po yung mga examples niyan, no? Individual meaning ikaw hindi ka masyadong nagagaling, easy temperament ka, no? Maganda ang kinakain mo, adequate nutrition, no? Attachment to your family, meron kang above average intelligence, no? Nag-achieve ka naman sa school, and good problem solving skills, no? Maganda ang self-control mo, in terms of you're delaying your gratification, no? Social competent ka naman. Yan ang mga individual factors. Family, as I've said, supportive and caring, harmonious family relationship. School context, sense of belonging. Alam nyo ba ang Pilipino kasi ang batang Pilipino, masyadong malakas ang sense of belonging niyan. Ang gusto niya, miyembro siya ng isang grupo, no? Ngayon, let's take the extreme, no? Kung hindi naman siya masyadong athletic, ang score niya sa mga exam ay mga average lamang. Hindi siya naiimbitahan sa mga party, no? Hindi siya nasasama sa mga ganong clubs or grupo. Paglabas siya sa eskwelahan, nakita niya yung tatlong kaklase niya naninigarilyo. So para mabilong lang siya, no? Sama siya doon, no? Kahit na alam niya na medyo mabawal o mali yung ginagawa. Because the sense of belongingness, no, is so strong sa mga Filipino teenagers, no? They have to belong. So magandang mga activities ng school diyan is for the clubs to flourish, no? To kumbaga sinasabi nila tickle the interest, provide hobbies that the students can engage to, no? Right. So community, yan, sense of connectedness, no? Hindi nagdedemandaan at hindi nagbabarangay yung mga magkakapitbahay, no? And the life events, you of course involvement with the significant other, no, partner mo, availability of the opportunities, economic security, and good physical health. Okay. Medyo mabilis ba? Pinapasensya nyo na, medyo madami kasing slides. And you can stop me anytime if you have any questions. Okay. So here are some of the potentially damaging naman, no? Anyway, I can provide you or give a copy of these slides na lang. So you can run through it pag in your free time. Okay. Right. So how is your mental health? Nasaan po kayo? Mental health problem? Mental health disorder? O nandun pa tayo sa mental wellness, no? Okay. Let's look at the situation in the Philippines. Ito po 2017. Recently, I was able to come across the 2023 population of the Philippines. We are now 117 million. No? So makikita nyo naman na the total mental health expenditure per person is only 12 pesos. No, the burden of mental health disorders according to the WHO, no, disability adjusted life years per 100,000 population is 2,762, no? And the suicide mortality rate per 100,000 is 3.2. I-point out ko lang po sa inyo na this is 2017. It's pre-pandemic. Later on, I'll show you the slide po about our experience in NCMH. Pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and now post-pandemic. In terms of suicide rates. So sa atin po sa Pilipinas, ang majority ng mental health disorders ay of course anxiety, then depression, no? Baka akala nyo, pag nakita nyo yung 3% ng depression kasi, sabi nyo, konti lang pala. No? Ah, lagay na po natin ang population natin sa 100 million, hindi na 117. 3% is 3 million. No? So 3 million po ang depressed. Marami po talaga. Alcohol use disorder is 0.8. Drug use disorder is 0.76. Bipolar is 0.54. Schizophrenia, which is very common, ito yung nakikita natin, no? Madalas natin makita, madalas natin ma-diagnose sa Philippines, is 0.27. Bakit po kaya sila ang madalas, no? Kasi po sila yung may behavior na it's so disturbing that relatives readily seek consultation or treatment. No? Yung mga pa-depress, yung depressed at saka anxiety, kinakabahan, nagkakaroon ng panic attacks, they postpone their consultation, no? Hanggang sa maging malala na, no? So, marami pong klase ng schizophrenia, no? Yung mga common na nakikita natin yung sa daan, these are schizophrenia disorganized type, yung mga taong grasa, no? Kaya very common na sa ating perception. Okay? So here's the 20-hour 24/7 crisis hotline, no? This is the 2023 statistics. And you could see that out of the 16,538 calls, no, for the year 2023, 6,000 of which are suicide related, no? Pre-pandemic po, 2018, we receive around 4,000 calls per month. Ay, 400 calls per month. Kaya po nung 2023, if you look at January 1-3, talaga pong after the pandemic and during the pandemic, our calls quadrupled, no? Mas marami pong tumatawag na. Well, if you look at it positively, may certain awareness na, and that's the reason why they're calling our crisis hotline. Or talaga pong nag-spike up ang incidence ng mga mental health issues during pandemic. Of course, we can say the factors are uncertainty, no, isolation, quarantine, loss of job, loss of relative, no, namatayan. So marami po talagang factors on why during the pandemic and nakikita natin ngayong post-pandemic, the rise in mental health issue is continuing. Right? So the reasons for calling NCMH hotline: anxiety and depressive symptoms, love, relationship problem, problem the family, asking for further referral, need someone to talk to, no, inquiring regarding hospital service, and so on. Lahat po ng calls, either ni-refer po namin sa aming telemental health, no, sa emergency room if he needs immediate attention, or pwede naman pong maghintay at ma-schedule sa aming outpatient, sa aming e-consulta, and of course others. So others po kasama yung other hospital facility, other government agency. Okay? So let me show you a picture on how the resources for mental health. For mental health financing, it's 0.22%, the government's total expenditure on mental health. We are the mental health disorders, the lowest among the lowest in terms of PhilHealth coverage. No, the acute care is only at around 7,600. No, ang daming gagawin po sa inyo dyan, either diagnostic, ang gamot nyo po ay medyo psychiatric drugs are quite expensive nowadays. No, so yan po. In terms of human resources, 2,051 total number of mental health professionals, both government and non-government, and a total mental health worker of two mental health workers per 100,000 Filipino population. Sa professional naman po, wag po kayong magugulat, no? there is less than one psychiatrist per 100,000 population at 0.5. Sabi po nila, we're a dying breed. So yung may mga anak po na going to medicine, i-brainwash yun na po that psychiatry would be the field na itahakin nila. Much less po is the subspecialty, a child psychiatrist at 0.064 per 100,000 population. And mostly are situated here in Manila. So yung nasa regions, provinces, medyo nahihirapan na rin po sila and naghahanap na rin po ng lugar para pag-referan. There are 0.88 psychologists, 0.3 occupational therapists, and 0.88 speech therapists. Okay. In terms of facilities, ito po yung mga facilities, mental health facilities na pwedeng puntahan. However, there are some facilities with inpatient, pwede silang mag-admit, and some without inpatient pero they have an outpatient service. So makikita nyo po ang discrepancy. Right below is the National Center for Mental Health, which has an inpatient bed or authorized bed capacity of 4,200. No? And that's the reason why we are the premier mental health facility of the country. Magandang pakinggan, pero in terms of service provision, no, mas maganda po sana every regions ay meron ng 500 to 750 authorized bed na hospital for mental health. Okay? If you're talking about accessibility of our Filipino people to mental health service provision. Okay. In terms of governance po, the Republic Act 11036, otherwise known as the Mental Health Act, was signed into law in 2018 and the implementing rules was signed dito po sa National Center for Mental Health last 2019. So meron na po tayong mandato talaga. Meron tayong mandate and it's backed up by the law that we have to implement, no, the mental health law. Mental health law is primarily a rights-based, no, law. No? It provides a certain patient rights, doctor rights, no, to the service users. Let me browse on the 12S, no, in terms of stress management. No? We Filipinos are spiritual in nature. No? So if you're going to interview some of the patients who have experienced mental disorders, no, their number one coping mechanism is to pray, no, or go to a priest, no. So spirituality. Siesta or sleep is one of the 12S of stress management. You need to have enough sleep, no. Sleep is the body's mechanism to rejuvenate, re-energize itself, no. Okay. Self-awareness. Of course, if you're not aware of what you're feeling, what's your mood, what your thought processes are, what your behavior, no, medyo tatawagin tayong may sarili kang mundo kasi you're not aware of it, that it affects all other people around you, no. So you have to be self-aware. Socials, you have to maintain your social, no, at a certain limit, of course. Stretching, and of course, having a positive attitude, smile. Stress debriefing is a process by which painful events is being talked about. Not only painful events, but how you cope with it, thereby strengthening your coping mechanism. No? Speaking to someone is always healthy, no? Except kung marites lang ang pag-uusapan ninyo. No? Sounds and sights, no? In terms of your how to relax. If you like me, I'm an 80s, no? So 80s sound ang gustong pakinggan, no? Sights, you go vacation, no? Seeing. Now, scheduling is one mechanism wherein ma-organize mo on your day-to-day activities. No, thereby erasing any confusion, forgetfulness, because you're putting your schedules, no. Sports, of course, and of course, sensation. Sensation meaning kasama na rin sa relaxation, massage, no, meditation, everything. So that's the 12S of stress management. Another one is the breathing exercise. So you won't believe the effect of deep breathing, no? Whenever you're anxious, no, you tend to hyperventilate, no? Mabilis ang hininga mo, nagpapanik ka. So the treatment of course is to breathe inside a brown bag, no? But you just do deep breathing, no? May count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no? And you will be instantly relaxed. Okay. Let me touch on self-care, no? Why is this very important? It's the ability of an individual to refill and refuel, no, in yourself in healthy ways, no. It's the daily process of being aware and attending to one's basic psychological and emotional needs, no, including the shaping of one's daily routine, relationships, and environment. Okay. Now, the WHO defines self-care as the ability of individuals, families, and communities to promote and maintain health, to prevent disease, and to cope with illness and disability with or without the support of a healthcare provider. Self, no? Kasama na rin po yan sa mga nile-lecture natin na self-love, no? Or love yourself, no? If you belong to an office or workplace na stressful and you can identify individuals na talagang toxic in nature, you try to avoid them, no, because you love yourself. You don't like to be toxic, no. So that you're aware, no. It's a form of self-care. Now, why is it a struggle to perform self-care? Why? Because we are already attached to unhealthy behavior, no. We lack the motivation to change, and we are finding it difficult to decide when in our lifespan to adopt a healthy lifestyle. Ilan po ba sa atin na nag-New Year's resolution na ay bukas simula na ako mag-diet, no? I will adopt na a healthy lifestyle, no? Pero very difficult, no? Next month ititigil ko na ang paninigarilyo, no? O ayoko na sa relationship na to because one way. Pero hindi pa rin. So we are papunta parate sa old way. Let us now have a behavioral change, a paradigm shift, no, to adopt a new way in terms of self-care. Okay. So here are the benefits. Of course, it will foster resilience, no? Yung magiging matatag o you're able to rise up above the struggles in your life, no? Live longer, of course, and becoming better equipped to manage stress. I think no doctor, no psychiatrist can guarantee that you will not experience any stress, no? Stress is inevitable, no? Ang mga hindi nakakaramdam ng stress ay yung lang nasa 6 feet below the ground, no? So we doctors and psychiatrists would only try to strengthen your coping mechanism to stress, because stress is always there. Kung paano po natin tanggapin ang stress, yung po dapat ang palakasin natin, no? Okay. Right. Positive self-care to avoid any crisis, no? Be kind to yourself. Take personal time and breaks, no? Pagka binasa po ninyo to lahat, no, parang be sure to set boundaries in your work and caregiving relationship. Parang sinasabi na yung bagong term ngayon na work-life balance, no, or life-work balance. We have to have this certain balance, no? Okay. So it talks about nutrition, your exercise, and your sleep. Nowadays po, in terms of research, maganda po ang sinasabi nila about what you eat and how you think, no? yung brain-gut relationship, no? It's all about what we are giving ourselves, so taking in, no, nutrition. Okay. Okay. So when will you seek help? You worry excessively or feel anxious most or all of the time? You can't shake the impact of past or recent traumatic events. Bumabalik at bumabalik. Ayaw mo nang isipin, binablock mo na sa isip mo, sumisingit pa din. And if you're seriously considering suicide. If you are using alcohol, street drugs, prescription drugs, no? If you're abusing paracetamol, if you're abusing Benadryl, diphenhydramine, and other substances to numb emotional pain, no? If you feel, nararamdaman mo na ba, sasabog ka, no? If you have irrational fears that interfere with your life, no? Medyo naging common po ang phobia, no? Especially during COVID time, no? May nakitaan po tayo na, uy, dati hindi naman siya ganyan, pero ngayon 10 beses maghugas ng kamay. Bago lumabas ng opisina, pinapahiran yung doorknob ng alcohol. Ini-sprayan ng alcohol ng 10 beses bago makalabas, no? Irrational fears, no? If you have very unusual, troubled relationship in terms of with your food and eating, no? Ayokong kumain ito, tataba ako, ito. So, irrational, no? Troubled, okay? Now, last few slides na tayo. Let me talk about mental health stigma. These are misinformed beliefs about individuals and the disorders they cope with, no? They are being perceived as dangerous, incompetent, pwedeng irrational, o hindi pwedeng pagkatiwalaan, no? Pwede rin itong hindi belief, pero attitude. Attitudes that can lead to discrimination, marginalization, lack of social exception. Kasi ang perception natin sa kanila, those with mental illness are broken or not normal, no? So mental health stigma arises from this, no, misinformed beliefs and attitudes. And that's the reason why to destigmatize mental health, kailangan ng information blitz, no? Education. Okay? So, the stigma is rooted in, it's a generational issue actually. Sabihin sa'yo ng parents mo, nung bata kami, wala namang kaming ganyan. No? Lahat nasa iyo, bakit malungkot ka pa? No? So, may generational issue. No? At meron din tayong tinatawag na self-stigma. No? Yung a person with mental illness, aware siya na negative ang tingin sa kanya ng ibang tao, ina-adapt niya yun. Ang nangyayari ngayon, pati siya, ini-stigmatize niya yung kanyang sarili. And this will lead to shame, which is the biggest cause of stigma in mental health, no? It will cause avoidance to seek treatment and adequate care. No? So, yan pong final and bottom line effect ng stigma. Hindi po sila magpapagamot. No. Mahihiya po sila. Not only the patient, but of course the relatives. So many anecdotal stories po ang pwede kong isabi sa inyo na pagpunta namin sa probinsya, gumawa ng kulungan ang mga kamag-anak, kinulong na lang ang mga pasyente doon kasi nahihiya sila na ilabas, no? Marami pong storya na nagsimula ng teenager, pagkita po namin 40 plus na, no? Yung duration po kung kailan nagsimula yung sakit at saka yung nag-seek ng consult napakahaba because of stigma. Okay? So, destigmatization po talks about or pertains to having an open dialogue about mental health, like what we are doing right now. And that is the reason why NCMH welcomes these webinars, no, for other social groups, no, and civil society. We very much welcome this. We have to promote education around mental health issue so that they can be better understood. We have to show compassion and patience for those struggling with mental illness. Dapat po isipin natin, ayaw po nila magkasakit ng ganyan. Hindi po nila sinasadya, no? And to encourage equity between those who have mental illness and those who don't, no? Experience po ng NCMH kasi, yung pasyente po namin, kailangan ng ibang medical intervention. Minsan hindi po namin ma-refer sa isang tertiary hospital kasi natatakot ang hospital because of the patient, no? Yung mental illness niya. And so we put up our own surgical, OB, pedya, no? Internal medicine. Kasi hindi naman po nagsasabi na kung ikaw ay schizophrenic, hindi ka na magkaka-appendicitis. Kung ikaw po ay may depression, you will not succumb to pneumonia, no? So in order for us and the whole Philippines probably to address the mental health issue, you need to have a holistic treatment approach, no? Okay. And we have really to encourage those who experience mental health struggles to seek professional help. No? Now, let me just add that we are very much would like destigmatization to happen. But for our country, tulad ng sinabi ko earlier, that we are lagging behind in terms of combating stigma of mental health. No? I do think that we have to demystify it first before we can destigmatize. No? Demystify, remove the mystery between the mystery of mental illness. At nakikita ko po na ang participants natin ay 54 na. 54 na po ang kakampi namin na magkakalat, no, ng education, ng information, and to demystify mental illness. Kailangan po masabi natin sa kanila na hindi dahil bilog ang buwan, na hindi dahil naligo ng may mens, at hindi dahil natulog ng basa ang buhok, kaya sila nagkaroon ng mental illness. Let us remove the mystery and then we proceed to destigmatization. That these are illness, no, that can be addressed, that can be treated, no, accordingly, no. And although the medication, ang treatment po runs a chronic course, anong karamdaman naman po ba ang walang ganon? Para lang po yung hypertension o mataas ang blood pressure, pag napababa na, may maintenance ka na. Ganon din po ang mental illness. Pag nawala na po yung mga bulong, maganda na po ang iyong behavior, maganda na, clear na ang inyong thought process, maganda na ang mood ninyo, you have to maintain the medication. No? Para din pong may diabetes, same with other chronic illnesses. Okay. So, here is the mental health literacy of the Philippines. On one study, although very small lang po, they interviewed college students. No? Now, Filipino college students, sabi nila, have an average mental health literacy. Pero yung ano po kasi, yung kaya naging average yan, kasi above average sila sa psychological distress. No? Stress, mga ganyan po. Alam nila yan. Average naman po sila sa psychological well-being na kailangan nila maging yung clear thinking, no? Maganda ang social relationship, yan. Pero below average po sila in terms of information about mental illness. No? Hindi nila alam ang panic, anxiety, going into depression, going into a thought disorder, schizophrenia. No? Hindi nila alam ang mga SHON, hallucination, illusion, delusion, hindi nila masyadong alam yan, no? So, overall, on this three, no, medyo average ang mental health literacy ng ating mga college student. Which is, in comparing po, no, sabi doon sa study, students from state university showed significantly higher mental health scores than those in the private universities. No? Pag i-compare po natin yan, medyo mababa ang mental health literacy ng private university. Pero sila po yung may mga matataas na anxiety as compared to those with state university. Siguro nga po, tugma, no? Wala ka masyadong kaalaman in terms of anxiety sa private, kaya ka prone to anxiety. Kaya lower ang score mo, higher ang incidence ng anxiety. As compared to those who at state universities, medyo mataas ang literate ka about the stress or anxiety, kaya medyo lower ang incidence ng anxiety. So, overall, generally speaking, there is still a need to enhance mental health advocacies and campaigns because this will improve our mental health literacy in the Philippines. No? Okay. So let me talk about our services here at the National Center for Mental Health. We have psychiatric services. No? As you can see, subspecialty, general adult psychiatry, child and adolescent, sa mga bata po less than 18 years old. We have forensic psychiatry, meaning those patients with mental illness with concomitant cases filed in court or criminal cases. No? Women and Child Protection Unit, crisis management, which includes the psychiatric emergency room and the acute crisis intervention, and of course, drug detox and rehab. Among our medical ancillary service, we have physical therapy or occupational therapy, psychological services, dental, pharmacy, medical, our records, both our clinical and anatomical laboratories, and of course, our radiologic services. No? For the medical surgical services, kumpleto po ang subspec ko ng 4, Department of Medicine, Department of Surgery, Department of Pedia, and Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. We have subspecialty on surgery, ENT, ophthalmology, urology, and orthopedics. And sa Department of Medicine, kumpleto po in terms of cardiology down to dialysis, neuro, and pulmonology. Crisis Management Service po, ito yung aming psychiatric emergency room and admission. No? Okay. Our outpatient, meron po tayong face-to-face, meron po tayong refill of medicine. Our outpatient receives around 300 to 350 patients per day. Kaya po, kung mag-enroll sila sa refill of medicine, hindi na po sila masyadong pipila sa outpatient, diretso na lang po sila sa refill of medicine where new prescriptions are being issued. No? Of course, our e-consultation, which started during pandemic. Okay. All right. Here's our adult section. Our child and adolescent section, meron po silang mga email ad dyan, landline. Women and Child Protection Unit, and of course, forensic. Here's our line in the 24/7 crisis hotline. No? With the tag, kamusta ka? Tara, usap tayo. No? Ito po yung mga line. Telephone numbers pala. Hindi makinig. Okay. We're trying to upgrade this our crisis hotline to provide more lines. No? Sa ngayon po, it's Smart, Globe, and a toll-free line. Ang problema po dito is they go on 3 shifts. So each shift po mga 12 lang yata yung aking responder. So pagpasensyahan nyo na kung medyo matagal bago tayo matugunan. No? Okay. And of course, my last slide, which is there's really no health without mental health. So thank you very much for your attention and good afternoon po to everybody.
Ayan. Thank you very much po, Dr. Noel V. Reyes. Let us give Dr. Reyes another jolly virtual round of applause. Yan. So, of course, yan. Baka meron pa kayong mga additional questions or meron kayong gustong malaman kay Dr. Reyes. Dr. Reyes, may I ask po, pwede ba kayo hanggang alas 6 ng gabi? Joke din po. Hindi po. Okay, we'll start the Q&A. So please let us welcome Ms. Leyden Florido of Rainbow Camp for the question and answer of our participants. Yeah, thank you po.
Yes, good afternoon po. Magandang hapon po, Dr. Noel. Hi.
Good afternoon.
From Rainbow Camp Foundation po, we're caring for people with diabetes type 1 mostly, and we conduct camps for our kids. Would like to, and we will appreciate po sana doon sa mga listeners natin and nandito sa ating platform. So please write your questions in our chat box or chat box lang po. Dr. Noel, hanggang alas daw po tayo dito for Q&A. Hindi po, joke lang. Joker ka po, di joke din tayo. Anyway, first question po, Doctor. From personal question po, in your experience po, what are the common causes? Ano po yung malimit na dahilan na nagkakaroon ng mental disorder? Sa nakita niyo po sa mga experience.
Yes, it's a combination po, no? Yung tinatawag po kasi nating hereditary o genetics, no? It places an individual a certain susceptibility or proneness. No? Hindi naman sinasabi na paglaki ang tatay at nanay nito lasinggero. Paglaki nito alcoholic din to. No, meron na lang siyang in his traits genetic, susceptible siya to become an alcoholic. Pero if he is going to be papalakihin natin sa isang very ideal environment, nurturing, no? Hindi rin po siya magiging alcoholic. All right. So pero may factor po talaga ang genetic traits. Now, mas malakas po sa tingin ko based on our experience are those that encountered or experienced traumatic events. Now, kaya po ako napunta sa psychiatry because na-amaze ako, no? Kwento ko na yung personal experience ko.
Sige po.
Nung ako po ay medical intern sa Rizal Medical Center, no? Sa emergency room, ito po, nagkonsulta ang isang 45-year-old na lalaki. Ang complaint po niya, hindi siya makatulog. Mahusay naman po siyang kausap, nakatungo lang, parang malungkot, no? Pero nakakapagsalita naman. Na base sa experience, siya daw po pala ay namatay ng asawa kasi nasunog yung buong bahay nila. Tapos nawalan siya ng trabaho. So ang laki, ang bigat ng traumatic. And here he comes, hindi siya makatulog. No? After 1 week, may isang pasyente ron. 16 years old na lalaki. Dala ng mga barangay tanod, tumatakbong hubot-hubad, may dalang itak, nangahabol, naguhuramentado. Nung interview, bumaksak sa exam. Sabi ko, katiting na stress, ang lala naman ng simptomas. Itong isa, grabe ang dagok sa buhay. Ito lang ang simptomas. So, ang isipan po natin, napaka-complex, no? It's all about ano yung coping mechanism natin, ano yung naturalesa, paano natin tinatanggap ang problema, no? Marahil, itong bata, hindi pa naka-experience ng frustration and disappointment. Kaya, shock na shock siya sa nangyari, no? Ito namang lalaki na 45 years old, no? Maganda ang kanyang outlook sa buhay. Tinatanggap niya ang mga dagok sa buhay, ngunit nakaka-apekto, which is quite normal. no? Normal pag tayo nga medyo namatayan, iyak pa tayo ng iyak, no? Which is normal, no? Bereavement, no? Mourning ang tawag. So kaya po ang sinasabi ko sa amin dito sa NCMH, yeah, common po talaga yung stress sa buhay, yung trauma. Pero yung trauma, pag sinabi sa anong trauma, ay hindi ko na po masasabi. Kasi sa tanggap ng tao kung ano yung traumatic sa kanya o hindi. Kailangan lang malaman natin kung paano nakaapekto sa kanya yung trauma at palakasin natin yung kanyang naturalesa. Sa tulong po ng mga gamot. No? So, in answering the question, varied po, no? Tulad po ng, kung sasabihin ko sa inyo, religious din po is a, ano, no? Pag masyado kang religyoso, sinabi sa'yo, umuwi ka na, siksik-liglig, no? O kaya, ano dito, sa mga ibang born again,
Liglig, umaapaw.
hindi, yung mga born again na organization na nagbabasa ng Biblia na hindi naman nila maintindihan, no?
Yeah.
No, kaya pag-uwi nila sa bahay, yung pa rin naman, wala namang siksik-liglig na nangyayari. So they feel na talagang wala talaga siguro akong pag-asa, no? So may mga ganun din po na pangyayari, alright? Tapos ito pa hong mga substance abuse na nakakapagpababa ng ano. Alam po based on research na yung rugby nakakapagpaliit ng utak talaga yan, nakakatuyo. So ang epekto sa individual talagang yung pagkasira ng pag-iisip, no? So maraming trauma, no? Substances, no, religion, yung poverty, no, yung mana, no. So pagka yan nagkatulong-tulong malaki po ang posibilidad na magkakaroon talaga ng isang mental health issue.
Thank you, Doc. So, ibig sabihin lang po, it's a multifactorial. Marami pong dahilan ang pagkakaroon ng mental illness. Doc, medyo talagang 7:00 na tayo uuwi dahil ang daming tanong dito. Dito pa sa chat group natin. Ano?
Pero kampi tayo, ha?
Kampi po tayong dalawa. Kailangan 4:00 matapos tayo. Sabi po dito, good PM po, kindly expound differences. Nako, itong mahabang explanation into relations of depression, anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and panic attack. Naku, differences po ang tinatanong ng bawat disorders na yun, Doc.
Yeah. Kung wala tayong andito. Tugunan po natin yung dalawa, no? Ano ba ito? Pwede ba sulatan? Pwede naman.
Susulatan na ni Doc.
Hindi na,
Kailangan
okay.
niya ng ballpen.
Okay na, Chi. Nakikita nyo ba?
Yes, anxiety, depression, merong nasa gitnang bakante.
Talaga po naman ang anxiety at depression ay magkakibat. Hindi nga po natin alam kung kailan nagsimula ang depression at kailan nagsimula ang anxiety. No? Talaga pong meron silang common
overlap.
Overlap. Overlap po ng simptomas. So napakahirap po talaga na i-pinpoint na itong pasyenteng to nagsimula sa anxiety. Gamutin natin yung anxiety tsaka na yung depression. Nagsimula ito depression tsaka lang kinabahan. So gamutin natin yung depression, no? Hindi. We usually target both na, no? Anxiety is excessive worry. Depression is a depressed mood, no? 3. Bigyan ko kayo ng 3. Pag meron kayong 3 nito, depressed kayo. Number 1. Feelings of hopelessness. Wala na kayong kapag-pag-asa.
Ay, wala ako yan.
Pangalawa, feelings of worthlessness. Wala kayong kwenta. Okay? Pangatlo, feelings of helplessness. Wala nang ibang makakatulong sa inyo. hopeless, worthless, helpless. No? Now you're in full-blown depression.
Depression.
Oo. So, may mild depression, no? May diagnostic criteria po kasi yan, no? Yung
Oo.
namatayan lang, no? Binibigyan namin ng leeway yan ng 6 na buwan in terms of pagluluksa, no? Pero after 6 months, kung ganun pa rin ang pervasive mood mo, no? Ibang storya na. If all of your symptoms affects your functionality, then you have a full-blown major depression, no? Disorder. Okay? Ganun din sa anxiety, no? Kinakabahan ka, no? Bigla na lang. Pag nakita mo yung tao na nainis ka, bigla kang nagkakaroon ng palpitation. Ang anxiety kasi, pag-usapan natin in terms of symptoms, physical symptoms, palpitation, no? Malamig ang palad, may tremors, no? O merong stiffness, no? Nangangalay, rigidity, no? In terms of pag-iisip o cognition, confused sila, hindi nila alam mag-prioritize, no? Naguguluhan sila na yung tinatawag nating lutang, no? Wala, okay? O, sa emotions naman, yung fearful, no? So, don't get me wrong, no? Anxiety can be both positive and negative, no?
Negative. Yes.
It makes your body cautious, aware, no? For example, kung tatawid ka sa EDSA, natural lang na maging anxious ka kasi baka masagasaan ka. Ang mangyayari ngayon, titingin ka left and right, tapos dahan-dahan kang tatawid. Or pauwi ka sa inyo, biglang may tumahol na aso, medyo ano ka, kasi baka makagat ka.
Yeah.
No? It prepares your body whether to run. Oh. Yan. So medyo may okay din na. Pero if it is excessive, no? And it reach a certain point na it already affects your functionality, ayaw mo na lumabas, no? Kasi baka masagasaan ka o hindi naman warranted yung ganun, no? So, meron kang anxiety. Now, panic is at the height of your anxiety. Panic attack. Yan yung talagang ano ka na, nag-hyperventilate, nahihimatay ka na, nagkakaroon ka ng blackouts, no? Hindi ka na makakilos, no? Very stiff na because of yung sobra na yung mga chemicals mo dahil sa hindi ka na humihinga. Nagka-accumulate na ang carbon dioxide imbis na oxygen. Oh, no? So, yan yung mga now phobia naman, so specific, no? Kung may phobia ka sa heights, no? Kung may phobia ka sa mga open spaces, sa mall, ayaw pumunta ng mall kasi o kaya ayaw pumunta sa isang lugar na iisa lang ang exit, gusto mo maraming exit, no? Meron ka mga agoraphobia, tawag nila, market yan, no? So, maraming phobia which can be treated naman din, no? So, yung mga common, no?
Yeah, siguro may nalinawan po tayo yung mga differences ng mga yan. So, Doc, kasunod Pete, medyo mahaba, medyo maano ito, maliit yung kanyang font. Filipinos are known to be matiisin. Yan. If kayang tiisin ang sitwasyon na toxic tinitiis, when should a certain individual who experience anxiety and pressure or toxic in his work or school environment to stop or to live that kind of environment? Hanggang kailan po ba dapat tiisin ang toxic environment hanggang matitiis?
Tama po yun. Matiisin talaga tayo. Kaya nga tawag sa atin, very resilient tayo.
Yeah.
No. Which has some bad effects also. No. Kasi pinababayaan natin na it reach a certain level bago tayo magsabi ng no. O kaya mag-iwas, no? Pagod na tayo. Meron tayong ginagawa. Sabihin sa atin, oh, tapusin mo to. Okay, yes. No? Tinitiis natin yung ating mag-iwas. It stems from our sinasabi natin na ano ba ang tingin natin sa trabaho? No? Ito ba ay livelihood? Kaya sa relationship, ganun din eh, no? Kung ginugulpi ka ng asawa mo, no? Ayaw mo naman siyang hiwalayan kasi sa tingin mo, wala na magpo-provide sa'yo. So mamatay ka rin. Might as well, ganun thinking, no? We are always thinking victim. Victim ako. Okay lang. But we are not pointing ourselves to having surpassed one event and going on. No? Ang ibig sabihin, we should really stop thinking of ourselves as victim, but to rise up and become a survivor. We are survivors. No? Iba yun. No? A victim and a survivor. No, when is the right time to say no? When is the right time to say stop? No? Anytime that you feel na nahihirapan ka na. No?
Huwag nang hintayin.
Huwag nang hintayin. Alam nyo, lahat nadadaan sa magandang usapan. No? Families, wives, husbands need to communicate.
Yeah.
No? This is something kasi sometimes kausap mo yung katrabaho mo, hindi mo masabi na hindi mo nagustuhan yung ginawa niya, no? O hindi mo nagustuhan yung pagiging tamad niya, no? May napapasa sa atin ang trabaho, no? You should say so, no? That's your right, no? For your well-being. Believe me, pag natuto tayo na magsabi ng no to our limit, then we escape from being people pleasers, and people pleasers are quite hindi psychotic, neurotic in nature. Masama din na maging people pleaser. So, if you feel na uncomfortable with the situation, if you feel tired, if you feel na you're being taken advantage of, no, your own perception, then say it so. Cut it. No?
Yes. Be open. Communication is very important here. Kailangan lang sabihin na hindi ko nagugustuhan in a nice way na medyo nasaktan ako sa sinabi mo.
Yeah.
And I hope some people should accept that we have limitations also. Okay, Doc. What is the acceptable grieving period for patients who have been diagnosed with life-threatening disorder? At kailan siya alarming na? Kailangan. At ano bang kahaba mag-grieve ka? Depende yan, Doc, di ba?
For those who have experienced loss of loved one, no, actually the grieving process is 6 months. No? Kapag move on na, no. But some of the circumstances kasi mahirap timbangin, no. Kung father mo yan na may edad na merong debilitating illness for such a long time, sometimes you wish na makapagpahinga na siya din. So the acceptance na mamatay siya is not that heavy. Pero yung nagbabay ka sa umaga, na aksidente sa kalsada, naku po, napakabigat, di ba? So we have to weigh that in, no? And we have to teach individuals how to cope with the loss, no? It's okay to grieve. Nakakalungkot talaga no? No? Wag natin tanggalin sa mga taong naka-experience ng loss yung grieving process. It's a process, no? The same way with lamay, the same with libing, no? These are steps na very important. Lamay, pag-usapan natin. Pag nilamay yan, dadating ang mga bisita, kamag-anak, kaibigan, pupunta sa namatayan. Kikwento nung namatayan kung paano namatay. Kasi ganito yan. Tapos may bisita na naman. Ganun naman din, no? Ang nangyayari nun, yung namatayan has now developed mastery of the event. Na-master na, kakakwento niya. Lumuluwag ngayon ang pakiramdam niya na it's not that unexplained, no? May mastery na siya. Kaya importante ang lamay, no? Libing. Okay. Ang practice ng ating mga Pilipino, pag ibababa na, bubuksan mo na yan.
Oh, just.
Di ba? Yung mga kamag-anak, titignan mo na.
Last glance.
kukuha ng holy water si Father, bibigyan yung mga kamag-anak. That is closure. Eto na, nakita mo in person, yung mahal mo sa buhay, nasa loob ng coffin na binababa, nililibing na. That's closure for you, namatay na talaga. No? So these are events na may significant meaning sa atin yan. No? Kaya nga as much as possible, di ba? Hinihintay natin yung mga kamag-anak from far away bago natin ilibing. Tapos may mga salamay, meron tayong mga events din, may mga manifestations, no? On how the deceased lived her life, no? Memory, no? So it brings about some form of mastery, no? Nawawala na yung mourning, no? Pero depending on the circumstances of the loss, no, probably that's a safe duration, no, 6 months.
6 months.
Sa Philippines, sa atin kasi may pasyam.
Pasyam, 40 days.
Kaya maraming
Kaya maraming. Okay, Doc, thank you for that. Pero magpapakonsulta na ako kasi napapaiyak na ako sa sinasabi ni Doc. Kasi when you lost someone very closely, very sudden, tama ka, Doc. Magkaiba kasi you are just waiting, mag-end. Pero
the
yung
trauma
sudden,
is different. The trauma is different.
Yes, agree. I agree with you, Doc. Ay, sabi dito, yes, sinabi na po ni Doc, bibigyan daw po tayo ng kopya ng kanyang presentation. It is a very good presentation. Very, very, comprehensive. Pwede bang ma-share yun, Doc, sa ibang tao na wala dito ngayon?
By all means. Kayo na mag-lecture.
Adya! Adya! Iba kasi dating pag ikaw, Doc, ka nagli-lecture, syempre. Doc, naku, Diyos ko, 10 minutes na lang, baka ako'y ikat ang aking Doc, meron pa, Doc, thanks for sharing your expertise and time. How can we respond appropriately or manage sa mga individuals? Naku, ito, mahirap ito. With suicidal tendency. Kasi we go beyond hindi na, if you are not ready for that, Doc, correct me if I'm wrong, do not open a Pandora's box if you cannot close it, right? Kailangan naka-ready ka, kailangan you are well prepared for that and you are parang na-train ka sa ganyan. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doc. Share your experience with that.
Yeah, there are certain myths, no, about suicide. Sabi nila, if you talk about suicide, mas lalong magiging suicidal. No, that's a myth. No, it should be discussed. No, kung ikaw ay health worker and you come across a suicidal individual, tama lang na tanongin siya, gusto ko na magpakamatay. Paano ka magpapakamatay? Sabihin sa'yo, magbibigti ako.
Anong gamit?
Anong oras? Sabihin mo, anong oras? No? Tanongin mo, anong oras? 2:00 na madaling araw. Ganyan, okay. So, ikaw, alam mo na ang gagawin mo. Sabi niya, magbibigti siya, which is a fatal method. Di ba? So, in terms of fatality, yung suicide level, masyadong fatal yung kanyang gagawin. 2:00 na madaling araw, walang tutulong sa kanya kasi tulog. So, the lethality of the suicide attempt, na-gauge mo na kagad. And you can help at once. Hindi, samahan kita sa hospital. No? Ganon. Ngayon, kung sinabi sa'yo, gusto ko na magpakamatay. Paano? Sabi mo, iinom ako ng 10 paracetamol. Anong oras? Ngayon na. No? Kasi nandiyan ka. No? So, yung help readily, yung method not fatal, so you can gauge na. Hindi, maganda niyan, pag-usapan na lang natin yan. Bakit ba? No? So, yung lethality ng suicide attempt, you can gauge right away by asking this question. If you're not going to ask, wala kang idea. No? So, if you really want to help, no? Sa tingin mo ba, wala na makakatulong sa'yo? No? Pag sinabing, ay, wala na. No? Bakit? Wala ka bang pag-asa? Wala na akong pag-asa. Wala akong kwentang tao. Na-fulfill niya na kagad yung 3. Hopeless, worthless. Halika, samahan kita sa ER. No? So this information should be put into use now, no, kayo, no. If you come across a student, if you come across a co-patient, no, now may certain awareness na kayo. Now, these are real things that can happen, and you can intervene at any point, no, in time. No?
So, kailangan kausapin pala. Not keep quiet. Pag nagsabi sa'yo. Doc, may nagpapahabol po.
Mas lalong nakakasama yung nasa isip mo lang yan. Kayang-kaya mo yan. Oo. No, mas masama 'yun, no? Kasi pati ikaw, you're not thinking na tama yung nararamdaman.
Oo. Sige, usap tayo. Dalhin kita sa ER. You fulfill the trip. Sige, Doc. Follow up po. How to deal with coworkers with anxiety and depression. Parang gano'n, Doc. Kausapin.
Yeah.
Tama?
Yeah. Provide them with a next step. No, kinausap mo na ba yung ating HR? No, paano sila makakatulong sa iyo? Kung may employee assistance program ang bawat HR, kung o kung may clinic, kinausap mo na si ma'am o si doktora o si nurse ganito, no? So provide them with that venue. O if ever nag-lecture sa amin, nag-talk sa amin sa webinar si Dr. Reyes ng NCMH. Sinabi doon na libre ang outpatient service nila. Pakonsul tayo. O kaya ito yung number sa 24/7 crisis hotline. Talk to somebody. So again, yan, nakatulong na talaga kayo dyan. No?
Yeah. Refer na lang. Usap tayo. Ganun, usap tayo. Ano nga ba, Doc, yung sinabi kanina doon? Mag-usap tayo. Halika, mag-usap tayo. Yes. Doc, ito pa, example pa nga eh. How do you deal with someone who uses mental illness as a weapon to manipulate others towards their personal needs? Parang ginawang, sige na, kasi mentally disorder.
Alagaan mo ko.
Alagaan mo. Bigyan mo ako nito. Sabi niya, example, if hindi mabibigyan gusto kong ganito o ganyan, magpapakamatay ako. Ay, marami kaming cases na ganyan. Diyos ko daw, yung mga bata, gano'n ang dahilan ng kanilang may pagkakasakit nila na may diabetes.
Ganun din, no? There's such a thing as behavioral kasi, no? Manipulativeness is a behavioral disorder, no? If you manipulate somebody for your advantage based on assuming a sick role, no? May ganyan disorder din, no? Manipulativeness. Then let us evaluate further kung saan galing yun, no?
Okay, Doc. Siguro this is the last question because almost 4 o'clock. Sabi niya, pinapakat na sa akin ang Q&A. Okay. What are the psychosocial support services do you provide to families with mental disorder patient? Yung pamilya po na may mental disorder.
We welcome them. Yung mga civic groups o yung mga, kasi meron tayong mga Autism Society of the Philippines, no, na comprises of parents of children with autism, no? So meron tayong mga civic groups na Schizophrenic Society of the Philippines, yung mga association. No? We welcome them, no? Alam nyo, sa law, mental health law, RA 11036, dapat kasama sila in every time there's a decision making in terms of the treatment of the patient, no? Kailangan informed sila, no? Sa tulad nga na sinabi ko, Mental Health Act is a rights-based law. Kailangan kasama sila sa gamutan, no? Maganda 'yon po, no? We welcome their involvement, no, in terms of treatment, in terms of advocacy, no? Itong mga relatives of our patients.
Okay. With that, thank you so much, Dr. Noel. And last word from you for all our listeners right now and the nasa platform natin. Last word.
Thank you very much po for this opportunity. The National Center for Mental Health is actually in the middle of transition, no? We are moving, hindi naman abrupt, no? We are known to be a treatment facility in hospital, but we are now extending based on our additional mandate. We're trying to promote community mental health, no, outpatient, no. We're trying to empower our patients, no. Tinuturuan namin gumawa ng regular CV, resume para makapagtrabaho. Hinahanapan namin trabaho na kahit mga sastre lang, hinahatid namin sa placement area nila, sinusundo ulit namin, no, and for them to earn, no, magkaroon sila ng contribution sa society. All of these are rehabilitative work, no. So we're going beyond treatment. Doon na tayo sa rehabilitation and becoming a productive member of the society. So we're going one step further, and with your help po, no, that's what I'm soliciting right now. No, with your help, no, we can really promote mental health in the Philippines. NCMH, as mandated, is the premier mental health facility in the country. And nakikita po namin na hindi namin kaya. We really want to establish collaboration and linkages to national agencies as well as civil society groups, no, to help us, no, promote and advocate mental health. Talaga talaga
Totoo. Ay,
na after COVID, no? Sabi nga po ng ibang papers, mental health is the next pandemic, no? Sabi nila. No, marami ng articles diyan. Sana hindi, no? Sana kung magkakatotoo man, sana din we are prepared for it, no? Na matugunan, no? And hopefully we Filipinos, as usual, can rise above this crisis, no? And with your help, no, rest assured that the NCMH is here to really help those who are in need of psychiatric care. Thank you po and good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Doc. Huwag muna po kayo aalis kasi may ibibigay po virtually ang papo sa iyo. And also, I would like to remind everyone to please answer our survey and our evaluation here. Ang link po ay nasa ating chat group. Doc, I'm giving back to our moderator and our MC for today and host si Ma'am Ana. Ma'am Ana, floor is yours.
Thank you, Ma'am Lynn.
Thank you po, Ms. Layden, and thank you again, Dr. Reyes. So, may I call on Ms. Marimel Lamsin, the Treasurer of PAPO, to award the certificates of appreciation to Ms. Melissa and of course to Dr. Reyes. Ayan, Ms. Mel.
Please nakamute ka.
Hi, good afternoon po. Pa-flash na po ang ating Miss Ana.
Yan, sandali po.
Ating certificate para kay Doc.
Oo, na-starstruck ako kay Doc eh. Nakalimutan ko na i-flash. Dali po. Ayan, kita po.
Yes, wait lang po. Ayan. Award the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Noel Reyes for sharing his valuable time, knowledge, and experience as resource speaker during the conduct of the webinar entitled Mind Matter Mental Health Awareness given this 25th day of April 2024. Signed, Ms. Karen Ida Alparce Villanueva, President, Philippine Alliance of Patients Organization, and yours truly, Marimel Lamsin, Chairman of Patients Advocacy Committee, Philippine Alliance of Patients Organization. Doc, thank you so much.
Ayan, okay.
Thank you.
Padadala na lang po namin ang certificate sa inyo po. Thank you po.
Thank you very much po.
Doc, wag muna po kayo umalis. Group picture muna tayo po.
Ay, sandali, may isa pa pong certificate. Teka lang. Meron pang isang certificate of appreciation for Miss Melissa. Okay, hold on. Tignan ko kung ito ba yun. Oops, sandali. Hindi siya yung isa po. Teka lang. Yung isa. Yan, Miss Mel.
Asa na ba? Wala pa po si Ma'am Melissa. Naka-off ang kaniyang cam. Okay, awardee certificate of appreciation to Miss Melissa Alabado for sharing her valuable time, knowledge, and expertise as a resource speaker during the conduct of the webinar entitled Mind Matter Mental Health Awareness given this 25th day of April 2024. Signed, Miss Karen Ida Alparce Villanueva, President, Philippine Alliance of Patients Organization, and Marimelam Seniors Chairman, Patient Advocacy Committee. Okay. Ma'am Melissa.
Thank you, Miss Mel, and the rest of the PAPO patient leaders. So, sana po ma-connect natin yung, ang tawag dito, yung advocacy of mental health that Dr. Reyes talked about. Discovering new treatments naman sa clinical trials. So, our team will also be liaising directly with Dr. Noel to find out any opportunities for partnership that will benefit the patients. Thank you.
Ayan, okay. So, of course, we have to close the webinar. So,
before that po,
photo op.
Yung ating mga camera, mga videos.
Photo op muna, okay.
Ayan. Para makita po ni Doc ang ating mga kagandahan at kagwapuhang mga Makikita mo ba, Doc, kunyari kung sino yung medyo parang may nade-depress ngayong araw na to? Ayan.
Nakikita. Sabi ni Doc, nakikita daw niya.
Makikita ni Doc kung sino yung depressed at anxiety.
Wala, nakangiti lahat. Tsaka kinikinatan ako ng iba eh. Kinikinatan.
Best smile daw po para hindi makita ni Doc kung sino yung depressed, may anxiety, at stress.
Okay. Pa-open po. Si Ma'am Yolanda Villanueva, pa-open po ng cam. Para lahat po ay may face sa ating...
Naka-open na.
Naka-open na po ba yan? Okay, kasi dalawa yata account niya. Okay po, wag po munang tatanggalin lang smile kasi 3 po ang ating parang screen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Isa pa po. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ayan, thank you po.
Okay, Mel, yung pangatlo, pakilagyan ako ng buhok ha.
Noted po, Doc. Kaya, ayan po. Yung pong, ito pong ating Zoom ay is recorded po. So, i-upload po namin to sa Facebook ng PAPO. So, please follow Philippine Alliance of Patients Organization Facebook page para po dun sa mga kasama nyo po na hindi po naka-attend ngayon or kung gusto nyo po ulit-ulitin yung mga na sabi ni Doc, pwede nyo po ulit-ulitin panoorin doon. Kaya wait lang po nyo na i-upload namin. Then follow po yung Philippine Alliance of Patients Organization Facebook. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so of course we have to close. Sabi nga ni Doc, may closure. May closure yung webinar. So we have to call on Miss Nelia, board member of PAPO, for the closing remarks.
Okay, maraming salamat, Miss Ana. Good afternoon, everyone. I have been tasked to close our activity this afternoon on behalf of PAPO board members led by our Superwoman President Karen Villanueva and the Advocacy Committee headed by Ara, Mel, and Miss Ana. I would like to thank all of you here for making this webinar a success through your valuable contributions and active participations throughout the session. Special thanks go to Dr. Noel Reyes. Thank you, Doc. I know you are super busy and I hope we can invite you again. Dahil sa inyong suporta sa patuloy na naitataguyod ng PAPO ang mga gawain na sa aming palagay, paniniwala ay makakatulong sa mga pangangailangan ng mga pasyente. As patient leaders, we should take care of our very own mental health so we can provide better support to our patient groups who may be struggling with mental health issues. Again, I would like to share this quote from Mr. Google. No one is more interested in your health than you are. No one will ever care more about your recovery than you do. Educate yourself so you can educate for the care you need. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat.
Ayan, thank you very much po. So once again, thank you very much, Ms. Melissa, Dr. Noel Reyes, and his team, and all those who attended this webinar. Your time is very valuable, but you chose to spend it with us sa webinar na to. So maraming salamat po, and please support the future webinars po and activities of PAPO. Thank you very much. And of course, there's no health without mental health. Thank you and God bless po. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Miss Sana pa sa recording.
Meron pa po tayong post meeting?
Yes po. Pasok na.
Yes. Okay.
Wait na lang po natin
Okay
yung
po.
advocacy committee. Pwede po pa.
Okay po. Thank you so much po, everyone.
So much.
May iiwan daw po kami. So, yung po iba, pwede na umuwi. Ay, umuwi. Uuwi daw. Kuklose lang.
Uwi.
Parang uuwi. Parang nasa face to face.
Ma'am Ana, pa-stop na po yung recording. Thank you.